Hello again. This is video number 2. Here's my little intro. Alright. That's a temporary one, okay. So, this video, obviously, because it's New Year's Eve, 2019, I would like to, as accurately as possible, kind of describe some of the lessons that I've taken out of this year and how I know I'm going to embody them and use them for the next year. So, one of the biggest lessons that I learned the most recently in 2019 it was made very clear to me that I just need to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. And what I mean by that is humans, we tend to hawk our lives. We tend to try to so over control it that it's not in control. We have a lot of shoulds and can'ts and do's and don'ts, and it should be this way and it needs to be that way and all of this stuff. When if we really just sat the fuck down and shut the fuck up and just pay attention to what is right now in our individual lives, in our collective lives, what is right now is what it is supposed to be. It's what it should be. But when we get into our own individual heads and say, but no, it should be like this, I want it to be this way, or the whole array of all of that, it makes life a lot harder for us. And so the most recent and reoccurring lesson, but has been the loudest recently, and I've fully have listened and integrated it in, is to sit down and shut up and pay attention. And so I'm fully sitting down and shutting up and paying attention. Now, with that being said, there are things that I want in this life, and I know, because it's been proven to me countless times, that if I just want it, I don't even have to make these ridiculous grand plans to even try to orchestrate it to happen. That's the universe's job. You just have to decide, what do you want? What do you want? Do you want a fancy house? Do you want a fancy car? Live your day-to-day life. Want the things that you want, but don't try to force and manipulate and orchestrate these things to come into happening. Yes, continue to have your job. Yes, continue to be an upstanding citizen and yada, 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 etc. But you don't need to go at work extra amount of hours and take out a personal loan and go window shopping at the Lamborghini place. You don't need to do any of that, because if you just sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up, quietly do your work, the universe will say, oh, look, you were serious. Okay, so orchestrate it all behind the scenes, and somehow we say it's magically what you want and sometimes even better than what you want. Not exactly what you want, but better. Comes into your life and says, thank you for being patient. Here you go. So I actually can't remember a whole lot more of the lessons that I learned in 2019. I know there was a lot of them. And 2018 and the year before that. And this year there will be a lot more too. But I'm excited to be able to share with you all the lessons that I learned this year. So, I mean, one of the lessons that I learned in 2019 pushed me to cut off all my hair. I had long dreadlocks. They were pretty long and they were naturally formed. Like, they weren't free formed. My husband separated my hair out and we kind of looked up a YouTube video and we just went from there. And so it took several years for them to even look like dreadlocks. For a long time, my hair just looked like a hot, fluffy mess. And I didn't mind it because I loved it and I knew what it was and it made sense to me. But I did like towards the end when I had them that they actually looked like dreadlocks. Like somebody could look and say, oh, she has dreadlocks. Okay, cool. And so it was actually within the past, I would say, probably less than 6 months ago or something. Well, maybe it was 6 months ago. I don't know. But some time ago, I was pushed to another rebirthing. We kind of kill parts of ourselves and rebirth them all the time, whether we consciously know it or not. But when we consciously know it, it does make it a little bit easier. Well, that's subjective. And sometimes makes it easier and harder, all that. But anyway, I was pushed to cut off my dreadlocks. I had a nice little ceremony. I cried. I cut them off one by one. I let them know that they were very precious to me, and I thanked them for all of the wonderful memories that we had together, and then I said goodbye to them. Now, obviously, in 6 months, this is not how fast my hair has grown out. I went through a little bit of a mental crisis afterwards, after I cut them off, and I was kind of like, okay, now I have this whole new sense of identity to formulate around and all of this stuff. And so I was like, well, I want to dye my hair coral. And so we did. It didn't turn out the exact color I wanted, but it was okay. And then I covered it in purple, and then that faded to pink, and it just ended up at the end of it. It was a hot mess. It was shaggy and it was cute and I loved it, but it was pink, and that's fine. But I've had pink hair a couple times before and I don't want it again. That's not the stage of life that I'm at. And so just recently, as in the past month or so, I cut the pink off, and so now this has grown out since then. And then also I have a toe ring on my toe. I won't show you my feet just yet. We don't know each other like that. But I have a toe ring on my toe, and it's been on my right middle toe for the longest, for a couple years. And after I cut off my dreads, I had a moment to where I needed to flip it. So then I put my toe ring now is on my left middle toe, and those all might seem like small minor things to outwardly to people, but it was kind of a crossroads, all of those points, and there was a lot more, but those are just the biggest ones that I can think of right now. And so I was kind of at a crossroads of I can't continue to become the highest version of myself that I know that I'm going to be, and that I won't even just allow myself not to be. Like, I'm going to become the highest version of myself that I can be in this life, period. And so I realized that in order to actually make forward strides to become that highest version of myself, that there were things that I could no longer do. Not even do, but no longer be. I couldn't be the person with those particular dreadlocks, with those particular energy signatures in them. And I couldn't be the person, or like, it was a significant thing. It was those little famous quotes, that go around. I'm a big quote person, okay, let me say that. But those famous quotes that go around, like evolve or repeat, or evolve or remain the same, or whatever. So it was a crossroads kind of like that, like evolve or remain the same. And I was like, no. For several years now, I have always made it a mission to choose evolve, because that has gotten me all the results that I've ever wanted, ever tried to orchestrate. Paying attention to when it was time to upgrade myself, do all those little bug fixes and all that stuff. When it was that time and I was paying attention, then it was that time. Like, if you didn't jump on it at that moment, it might come back around, but it might be a long time from now. And I'm tired of catching the next bus. I want to catch the bus that's right here in front of me. The opportunities are coming, and if I see one that I'm supposed to get on, that I know is for me, then I need to hop on that motherfucker. Okay, that's all I gotta say. I just don't know, because it's just, sometimes it's like that. So anyway, hopefully you can't tell, but I did get interrupted in the middle by my daughter. So I had to look up and how to merge two videos together. So we will see after this is done if that actually was successfully done. But anyway, to wrap up 2019, I just want to say it was a good year, and it was a very trying year. A lot of things happened this year that I honestly didn't think would ever happen. And I'm really glad they did. Because I know that I'm only going up from here, because I'm not going to allow myself to just sit back and let the opportunities pass me by. I'm not going to just sit back and I don't essentially mean this in the way that I say it, but I'm not just going to sit back and pray my way to heaven. Okay, like, that's a whole nother topic and blah, 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 but it's a figure of speech in the way I'm saying it right now. I need to sit back and pay attention for when all the answers I'm looking for are coming past me. And so my challenge for 2020, for everybody who would like to implement it, or even parts of it or whatever, is to just pay attention. The universe is trying to give you exactly what you want, but it may not be exactly the way you see it in your head. But if you pay attention, you'll know that it feels the same when you see it. So, happy 2020. I know it's gonna be a big one. And I know that's only up from here. Thank you. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, let me get my exit. So I did so we're gonna do a different one. Wait.